Welcome everyone to tonight's market review session with us at EasyFX Academy. My voice might be sounding a bit lower, but I'll do my best to be as audible as possible. Alright, so a couple of things before we dive straight into what I have for us tonight. Alright, for the market review session. One thing I would advise that we should do in this period of time, right, is that you should be very, very cautious while trading between this month and next month. So you have the fact that during the end of the year, right, the market tends to usually act in a different manner as opposed to the middle of the year and so on and such. All right, and you have the fact that the US elections are also coming up, I think this week or the next. All right, so a lot of the moves that you might be seeing in the market will not just be pushed by your technicals, right? They will now be pushed by sentiments and fundamentals also. All right, so beyond your technical analysis, you've drawn your order blocks, you've drawn your trend lines, you've drawn these amazing things that you probably like drawing, right? You've used so and so indicators. You have the fact that this week and the next and the coming weeks, all right, will actually indicate how exactly the US dollar would be affected by the elections. All right, so it's very likely that you might get to see a lot of weird moves. All right, so by all means, make sure number one, you trade according to the trend. Make sure you react. All right, make sure you're trading based off of what you can currently see. All right, and overall, just practice proper risk management, right? Because we expect that this week, or in this coming weeks, rather towards the end of the year, we're going to be seeing some very, very interesting moves. All right. So if you're supporting, if you're supporting Donald Trump, congrats. If you're supporting Kamala Harris, congrats to you. All right. May the best man win. All right. That's just basically all I have to say concerning that. All right. But without taking too much of our time, let's just go into the market review session itself proper. All right. So first off, let's look at DXY. And for me, I believe that we should get to see some strength from DXY this week. All right, so basically, I'm still quite bullish on the DXY, basically the US dollar currency index. All right. However, I want to be very, very cautious. I want to also watch out for this. Currently, DXY is in a very, very interesting, supply zone. All right, just the area encapsulated between 104.806 and 104.437. Right, so and I'm possibly watching out for that guy to actually give us a drop, all right, even from where it is. But all the same, let me just do it like this. All the same, this is what you might then watch out for, all right. But if you get to see that this zone here gets broken, all right, so allow me to change that instead, right, just to be a bit more precise and safe. If you get to see that this zone gets broken, then definitely what you should be watching out for should be price coming towards this trend line. Now, for me, I am inclining more towards the trend line, right? Because I think if you measure this previous high to this previous low, right, you'll see that the trend line also coincides with our interesting regions or our key regions on the Fibonacci tool, right? So I'm just watching out for that basically. But all the same, like I said, we're in the supply region already, supply zone already. So let's just see how that plays out. So even though I'll be expecting some level of maybe weakness towards the end of the week, at least Monday, Tuesday, possibly till Wednesday, I think we should still get to see the dollar gain some level of strength. All right, so that's just basically it. For me on DXY. All right, so definitely if I get to see maybe by the end of Monday, if I get to see that price has then, not been able to break maybe above around 104.437, right, then definitely that will just tell me that, oh, this supply zone is still very much viable to hold. And then I'll be watching for price to push higher. All right, and one of the things that's actually making my bias to be this way is because from what we can see right now, price has swept this low, all right, which could have acted as an inducement. Price has also swept this low. And then price is, currently in this pivot region. How do I know that that's a pivot region? Basically, you can just come to your line charts, and as you can see, let me delete it so that you see the little better. As you can see, that's from our concept or depth for a pivot region. So you can see that's a very interesting pivot region. Price has come into it, and it looks to want to continue towards the upside. So let's just watch out for that, during the course of the week. So now that is clear for DXY. Next up, let's look at BXY, the Great British Pound Currency Index. So again, I apologize, my voice might be sounding a little bit, coarse. All right, but I'm very sure you can still hear me. All right, so for BXY, I think we can then also watch out for some level of strength also from this guy, right? Currently, we've seen a price has entered our interesting demand zone, which also coincides with, a very, very strong pivot region. I think we can just overall time frame from the overall perspective, like you're saying that this guy is still bullish. All right, so we can then watch out for BXY to continue bullish during the course of the week. So I'm expecting GBP to actually gain some level of strength. All right, so for AXY, however, I have something a little bit different, and I'm going to explain that right now. All right, so usually when you get to see highs, when you get to see lows, what those highs and lows get to tell you basically is that there is liquidity left behind. All right, it means that currently at those highs, at those lows, someone told or something pushed price towards the downside, or something pushed price towards the upside, meaning that there were buy orders or buy limits or buy stop limits or trading stop, or stop loss or take profits or different types of orders, right, that were set around those regions that push price towards those directions. Right. That being said, I expect that price would still want to come to sweep liquidity from here. However, this region that I've marked out here is a pivot region of interest for me between 65.28 and 64.98. So it's a very interesting pivot region for me. So definitely what I want to watch out for is simple. Overall, I am watching out for this guy to do something like this, and then something towards it. So I'm still watching out for price to sweep this low and continue towards the downside, at least for a short while, right, before maybe it gets to a better spot for it to get a strong reaction for a buy from. Right, but that's just basically it for CXY. So some level of weakness initially during the course of the week, then we get to see some strength, and if possible we get to see enough moves in the market during the course of the week, then definitely we might watch out for the guy to regain strength. Right, so for CXY, I don't want to take too much time on the indexes. For CXY, I think I'm just watching out for this guy to be bullish, right? I'm sincerely watching for this guy to be bullish. That swept multiple previous lows, right? They swept this low here, this third one here. Nights at this current support around 71.54. All right, and I'm seeing a fair bit of a rejection candle being formed around there. So I want to watch out for price to possibly still continue towards the upside, and then we get to see, some level of strength from the Canadian dollar. Right, so I hope that is clear also. Last but not least, for our indices rather, we'll look at JPY basket. And just to put it simply, I'm watching out for this guy to continue bearish. All right, just to put it simply, I've seen enough of a reaction from this pivot region. All right, and I do not believe that we should have any reason for price to want to continue bullish right now. So I think for this week, I'm quite bearish also on JPY basket. So I hope that is clear. All right, so without taking too much of our time, again, let's just quickly go into the more interesting commodities. Gold. All right, so let's start from gold. Everybody's favorite. Many people love trading gold. Many people lose money to gold. All right, but still, it's still everybody's favorite guy to trade. Right, so let's quickly look at gold. Let me pull this. All right, so this is a very interesting region for me right now on gold between 2728.58 and 2718.38. 2728.58 and 2718.38. That's a very interesting region for me. All right, and basically it's just a Fibonacci zone, right? I just marked that out. And the reason why it is interesting for me, apart from the fact that it falls into, a key point when it comes to using the Fibonacci tool, is that I am expecting that price would then sweep liquidity from this trend line. So a sweep of trend line liquidity turn into the other block or into the zone, your supply zone or demand zone, and then get to see price push. So in this case, sweep of trend line liquidity return into this demand zone, and then we get to see the buy from there. The reason why that's my bias is very simple, right? We get to see that from the overall time frame, from the overall perspective, this guy is still bullish. All right, I'm not going to say that this guy is bearish yet. All right, for me, a bearish momentum will be signified when I get to see price break below this around 2708.93. All right, that'll be my previous low, or my major previous low, my swing previous low, right? And if I get to that guy gets broken, then definitely I'll watch out for this guy to possibly then be bearish. But for the course of this week, I think I'll watch out for that. All right, and again, if I get to see, like I said earlier, if I get to that this low gets broken. This support around 2708.93. If I can see that it gets broken, then definitely my bias will change to bearish on gold. But for the meantime, I think this will still have to stay. All right, so that's just my bias for gold. For USDCAD, I'm also watching out for sorry, I'm watching out for this guy to still buy also. Let me go to the daily time frame for this. Yeah, I'm so sorry. All right, so I think this guy will still push towards the upside also. I've seen that price looks to want to sweep this high. All right, this is around 1.39463. So I'm watching out for that sweep to be done properly, cleanly, and then we get to continue towards the downside. So just a little bit, more of price pushing towards the upside for that sweep to be complete, and then I get to see price come back towards the downside. So remember, this also somehow coincides with what we're expecting on the DXY charts, right? So basically that's just it. So that's what I'm watching out for on USDCAD right now. You can see I didn't give any specific zone, right? So what I would expect from you is that if you get good enough sell entries on USDCAD for scalps especially, or if you get a good enough swing entry on USDCAD, then I think you are very much well okay to take it. Right, so all that is clear for USDCAD. Let's go into GBPUSD. Another one of the majors, right? So overall, from the higher time frame perspective, we can see that this guy is still bullish, and then we should be looking for more reasons to buy, right? And we've also seen another thing is that price has come into a very, very interesting region for us, which is actually pivot region. I think it's on the daily time frame also, so you can see that we're in a pivot region right now. That pivot region also coincides with this trend this trend line support. All right, so just give me a minute. All right, so as I was saying earlier, that pivot region also coincides with a trend line support, right? So what we can then expect is that after price stabilizes itself in this region, we should get to see price continue towards the upside, and I'm expecting a considerable move towards the upside. So for me, this is something I'll be looking out for as a swing trade, a very, very not so long, but a swing, enough of a swing, right? Enough of a swing trade. So I still want to see price come into this zone a little bit better before I make my final verdict. All right, but I think for the beginning of this week, you might just watch out for possible buys on this guy. This is another pivot region around here. Give me a minute. There's another pivot region around here. Currently, I do not think we're going to get to see any serious reactions from here. Let me see. Maybe. Maybe. So this one is not financial advice, but you might want to look at it or look into it, right? Maybe by the time market opens, let me just delete this. By the time market opens, which should be in about 2 hours time or so, you might be looking out for buys from here, or just for a very, very short scalp from around here. Of course, practice your proper risk management and whatnot and everything like that, but you might just want to watch out for that. All right, you might just want to watch out for that. So I hope that is clear for my overall bias for GBPUSD. And overall, I'm looking bullish, but then I've seen this little guy here that might give me a scalp for a buy. All right, so I'm just going to be watching out for that basically. All right, so I hope that is clear. So the coordinates for that zone, the one I gave for the scalp right now, is between 1.29020 and 1.28872. 1.29020 and 1.28872. All right, so that is clear for GBPUSD. Quickly, I'll look at GBPJPY. Right, so for GBPJPY, I'm still watching out for this guy to drop. Right, this is going to be sweep liquidity point 1. Let's call it liquidity points, right? So liquidity point 1, liquidity point 2. All right, and this second or this lower region here would be my preferred demand zone between 196.117 and 195.976. 196.117 and 195.976. That'll be my preferred region for the buy. By all means, make sure that before you take any of these buys, cross check with your own entry criteria, and of course leave enough room for your stop loss, right? So don't set your stop loss and your entry based off of the zone. Preferably put your entry just a little bit above the zone, put your stop loss just a little bit below the zone, and you can use your discretion for that, right? But basically, this is what I'm watching out for on GBPJPY. So something towards this end, yeah, at least up to here. All right, so on GBPJPY, quickly let's go again. Let's move to GBPCAD, and for GBPCAD, something similar. All right, I want to watch out for this guy to still drop a little bit into here. All right, my preferred demand zone is between 1.79772 and 1.79507. So a sell to buy scenario basically is what I'm watching out for on one GBPCAD during the course of this week. All right, so let's quickly go on. I have AUDUSD. Like I said earlier, I really don't have so much to share with us. I think this week I'm going to do a lot of observations. All right, more than trading. I'll trade definitely, but I'll be a lot more observant because, like I said, we're having elections this week, and that means that definitely some of the moves that you're going to be getting to see in the market will not be based off of your technical analysis. They will stand more right or more true to fundamentals and sentiments, right? So just be very, very cautious with your trading during the course of the week, right? So for AUDUSD, I think you can watch out for this guy also to still be bearish. Quite simply put, I'm expecting that price will just continue dropping, all right, and then maybe we'll get to still see price sweep this relatively equal lows around here, right? So basically, if you get to see good enough sell entry at lower time frame, maybe on a 30 minutes or on a 15 minutes time frame, I think it should be very, very wise for you to enter for the sell. All right, so that being said, for EURUSD, I'm watching out for this guy to also sell. All right, also on EURUSD, I'm watching out for a sell on EURUSD. However, I'm not expecting it to last so long. So let me come to the 4-hour time frame for this. Sorry. All right, so I'm watching out for this guy to still drop. Possibly we get to see price, sweep this low here, possibly drop a bit lower. I'm very sure if we use our fib on this, we should be able to get somewhere close enough. Yes. Yeah, somewhere around here. Right, so I want to watch out for something towards this end during the course of the week. My preferred buy region will be between 1.08013 and 1.07847. 1.08013, 1.07847. So I hope that is clear for Solar FX. You joined late again. I'm sure you want to ask for gold, but maybe we'll go back to it before we end. But I hope that's clear for EURUSD. Again, like I said, I'm watching out for this guy to turn a little bit more bullish. All right, so for me, and validation will be if I get to see that this zone is broken. As long as the zone is not broken, then I think we can still watch out. So when I get to price come there, basically what I want to see would be a good enough, maybe an engulfing candle or maybe a rejection candle from there, and then we fly. All right, so USDJPY quickly. This is a setup I think I gave about last week during the market review last week that hasn't played out yet, but I still see that it has promise. All right, so basically I'm still watching out for it to still work out. So basically I'm watching out for price to drop towards this end. We get to see price react and then a buy continuation. All right, on USDJPY, so buy zone, demand zone between 150.072 and 149.549. All right, so that's left for USDJPY. I only have 3 more commodities for the night. All right, but if you have any commodities you just want us to look at together, just drop them in the chat box and I will look at them right now. So any commodities you want us to look at together, drop it in the chat box and let's quickly look at it together. All right, so AUDCAD, I'm expecting a sell continuation also on AUDCAD. However, I think I'm good. This is basically my riskiest, or what is going to be risky for me anyway, from what I can see right now. All right, reason being that I get to now. The way I trade is I work with liquidity a lot. I love working with liquidity because if you know where the liquidity lies, then you know where the market is going to want to tend to go towards, right? So from what I can see right now, what we have is the fact that there is liquidity around here, this top part, and there's liquidity around this lower side here. All right, so there's liquidity to push price towards the upside a little bit more. There's also liquidity to push price a little bit towards the downside. So I'm watching out for where price is going to want to be attracted to the most. And for me, I think that's towards the downside because current structure that I can see on the 2-hour time frame and even from the 4-hour time frame, right, it's still looking like this guy wants to continue bearish. All right, so I have every reason then to believe that price is still want to go to continue selling. All right, so for me, what I would just advise you to do on AUDCAD then is look for re-entries for sales. All right, I cannot really find any proper re-entry zone to give right now. And I don't want to go down to a 30 minutes time frame necessarily. All right, but no, nothing too concrete right now. nothing too concrete right now. I believe that we should get to see, a break, below this region. All right, so but basically that's what I'm watching out for price to just keep dipping on AUDCAD. All right, so send to the last of the night from me. All right, is Euro AUD. Mr. Morakinyo, Solar FX said you should look at USDZAR. We'll look at it. So Michael, follow on show. I don't know if you joined late. We've actually done USDJPY, but we'll go back to it again. All right, so USDZAR, US oil, and USD JPY. All right, so for Euro AUD, basically this is what I'm watching out for. Price to still sweep here, and then we get to continue for the buy. I'm sure this guy that said USDZAR is because we talked about USDZAR last week. I don't know if anybody was able to trade that commodity. I just managed to squeeze out something before price decided to do it. So I'll show us the trade very soon. All right, so but this is what I'm watching out for on Euro AUD basically. Sweep of this low has occurred. The sweep of this low also is likely to occur rather. All right, so I just want, and I've seen this is another block anyway. This is the basic definition of another block, but that's not the reason why I'm marking it up anyway. I'm just showing us that we should get to see price to drop. All right, sweep this low, and then we get to see price come into this zone, our demand zone for the buy. All right, so my demand zone is between 1.64696 and 1.64496, 1.64696 and 1.64496. Right, so that is clear for UAED. Last but not least, from my end is AUDNZD from my end. All right, then we can look at everybody's request. All right, so for AUDNZD from my end, I'm watching out for a buy also. Same concept. We have a pivot region around here. Price currently seems like it still wants to drop. We've seen that price has more reason or different reasons to want to come towards the downside here to sweep these previous lows around here. So we have this one here. We have this guy here also, right? So basically my buy zone for me will be around 1.09590 and 1.09379, right? So I want to watch out for price to still give us a sell, and then we get our buy. So if you get to get a good entry for your sell based off of your entry criteria, I think it is safe to trade for sales during the earlier days of this week at least, before price gets towards that zone on AUDNZD. Right, so all that is clear for AUDNZD. Quickly, let's look at for real. It's because of what we talked. Because of the last time we talked about it. Yes. Hey, sorry for your voice, Mr. Morakinyo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope that it will somehow find a way to adjust itself. But yeah. All right, so USDZAR. So this was the idea or the trade idea that we're looking at basically on USDZAR. I think that was the last market review. Got to see we're expecting price to buy from here. All right, and thankfully, by just the air on my chin. All right, I was able to just a short scalp basically 1:3. Overall, I was expecting it to get at least up to here. All right, but based off of price action, I got to see. So that's this guy is like you have decided to want to misbehave. So this week, if I'm to say what exactly I'm expecting this week is quite simple. All right, this zone still held a little bit. All right, and this is coming. I think I can say something here, but I want to confirm from the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, so this. Yeah, I'm going to see rejections from there. So I think on USDZAR, again, like I said last week, if you are trading this guy, be prepared for worst outbreaks that gold has ever given you. Right? Just be prepared for it. So I think on USDZAR, we might just watch out for maybe something like this. I'm tempted to believe that this guy will still sell overall. My overall bias right now actually is for a sell. My overall bias on this guy is for a sell. But this one, like I said, I will not tell you that, if you see entry for sale, take it. It's not this commodity that this tells somebody to be taking entry for sale anyhow. This one, you have to calm yourself down. Because it's actually an exotic pair, right? And it is quite volatile. It is actually more volatile than gold. The moves might not be as, they are not looking as sharp as gold, but it is weighty. It's even weightier than gold. All right, so your 0.01 on this, all right, can your stop loss of 50 pips on with 0.01 on this can easily chop, I don't know, maybe $100. Whereas if it was gold, maybe gold will just take like $80 or $70 from you. Right? So just make sure you're very, very cautious and you're careful with this. All right. So all that is clear. USDZAR, I'm watching out for it to be bearish overall. Price is in a very interesting part, but we don't expect that price would still push towards the lower side to still sweep this low and then continue bearish. But that basically is what I'm watching out for on USDZAR. All right, so US oil, let's look at US oil, then USDJPY. Okay, let me look at USDJPY first, because we've not done US oil, but we've talked about USDJPY. So let me go back to USDJPY. This was the setup I gave last week. Like I said earlier, we didn't get to see it play out last week, but I still believe that it is quite valid. All right, so basically I'm watching out for price to give us a reaction towards the downside. I'm watching out for bearishness, right? For price to just sell from here, get the price come towards the downside, sweep this low, and then before we get to overall from a swing perspective, price come into this demand zone between 150.072 and 149.549. All right, so that basically is what I'm watching out for on USDJPY. I hope that is clear, Mr. Michael Folorenshaw. So a sell to buy basically is what I'm watching out for. Last but not the least, for today's session is US oil. I think I remember the last time we treated US oil. Yes, because I actually had a talk with some of my guys during the course of the week. This was the trade I gave for US oil the last time we had the review. All right, so I gave two scenarios. Either we get to see a buy from this trend line, or we get to see a buy from the demand zone. And funny enough, you got to see both of them, right? You got to see some level of buys from, that reaction from that trend line around here, right? And we also got to see another buy reaction when price came into our preferred demand zone, right? So then what I watch out for, what I should be watching out for right now, is for this guy to still keep on buying. I am led to believe, all right, and I feel like that should still work out for this guy to still give us some buys. Where should we be watching out for buys? That will be my next question right now. So from what I can see on the 4-hour time frame, I can easily just mark out this whole region here. This is a very, very shady region. All right, but I think we can just work with this for the meantime. All right, so I'm tempted to want to pull out my fib. I'm sincerely tempted to want to pull it out. But I'm not. Oh, sorry. I'm just noticing that. I was right to pull out my fib. I'm just really noticing that. Don't mind me. So we have this, right, and then my approach to trading is quite idealistic. All right, so I believe that the markets would move in an idealistic manner. All right, so if you did chemistry in secondary school, there's an ideal environment, and then there's, I think they call it unrealistic or something. I've already forgotten. The ideal is that something should be like this. The realistic is that the one that is realistic usually doesn't align with the one that is ideal. All right, so if ideally you're supposed to be, you're supposed to be light skinned, but because you are in a place that has hot sun, you're now saying that you're dark skinned. That is the difference between ideal and realistic. So basically, ideally, what I can say right now is that price should give us, this drop on US oil into this region. Then we get to see a continuation for the buy. All right, so my buy zone or my demand zone between 67.85 and 67.24. All right, so if you're taking that trade, you might easily just, use your TP1 might be around this high here, right? Your TP2 might be around this second high. So your TP1 might be here, 71.40. TP2 might be around here, 72.30. And your swing TP would be, or TP3, not your swing TP. Your TP3 will be 76.15. Swing TP, final TP will be 78.46 or so. All right, but I think for me, I'm just going to work with this for this guy to continue for the buy. Yeah. So that is clear for US oil. I believe we've treated everything that everybody wanted us to treat. So USDZAR talked about, US oil talked about, USDJPY talked about. So with that being said, with these viewers of mine, like I said earlier, please practice proper risk management during the course of this week. Be very, very cautious. Assume that the markets are ready to steal your money this week because they'll most likely want to. Like I said, elections are coming up very soon. So what will move the market apart from your technical analysis will be a lot more of fundamentals and sentiments, right? So be very, very cautious in the coming weeks. And I'm very sure you're going to have a profitable week. All right. So thank you very much for joining us for tonight's market review session. Have a wonderful rest of the night and a magnificently profitable week. Bye, guys.